Hi, everybody. Welcome to my new series called Sober Science. So, since I've been teaching from home, I have a lot of migraines from getting screen time, and I don't have time to sit there and type this long blog post. Also, my best blog posts are about funny life experiences, and lately my life experiences are, just depressing. They're not funny. So I've invited my guest, Emily. She lives super close. So I asked her if she would pop by in our living room and let me teach her a little bit about science. So
I know nothing.
Yeah. I know nothing too, but I decided to start making these little booklets, okay, about different things that I find interesting because I really like to see what categories like animals belong in. I'm a big fan of like learning about animals but not living with them. So I'm going to teach Emily today about the 5 major biomes.
That word looks misspelled. It's probably not. I'm just saying biomes doesn't look like a real word.
Okay, we're off to a good start here.
I'm just saying.
It's also known as habitats, okay, if you're familiar with it's like different ecosystems, okay? It's like the reason that
So this is our biome.
For the last 6 months, yes, it is.
Okay,
it is.
Cool.
Like when you're watching Lion King, you don't see like a goose running through there because that's not like their jam.
Yeah, that's not their biome.
Right. So let's start. Here's my introduction. Okay. So Emily, a biome is a large, naturally occurring community of flora and fauna in a major habitat.
I know those words.
Yeah. Remember that time that I was like, oh yeah, fauna, the animal life, and your mom was like, that's not what that is. That's plants. And we were like,
flora is flowers and fauna is green plants, right?
Fauna is animals.
It is?
Yeah. Right? Then we'll Google it later. Okay. But I'm pretty sure.
I thought flora was like flowers and fauna was like trees that don't bloom. But I guess that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Who do you think is more likely to be right? Me or your mom?
My mom.
We're going to pause and Google this.
No.
All right, guys. Thanks to Google. Use promo code White Girl Wednesday to get a free use of Google. Fauna, as you can see here, is the animals of a particular region. So
put a comment if you think fauna was actually green plants.
No one's going to comment because everyone knows more than that.
No,
okay,
that's not common knowledge. Keep going. I'm ready. Ready to learn.
It is common knowledge. Now, the first major biome we're going to talk about is the aquatic biome.
Yes, my favorite.
Well, don't pick a favorite until you've learned.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's not my favorite. It's totally
premature.
Not my favorite.
Okay. 2, the desert. Okay. 3 is the forest biome. Okay. Like where you should not go if you don't want to be murdered.
Yep.
4 is the grasslands. And then we're going to talk about tundras. Tundra. Not feeling tundras?
I don't like cold.
Okay. Well, we're gonna learn a lot. So, Emily, first I want to talk about the aquatic biome. Yes. Now, this is 75% of Earth's surface. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Does this include fresh and salt water or just salt water?
Emily, that is such a good question.
Thank you.
And it does include both, okay? So you got fresh water.
Oh, okay.
Freshwater wetlands. Okay. Marine, so that's like your oceans.
Oceans.
You got coral reefs are like their own biomes.
The best.
Who knew?
The coolest.
Yeah. And then we're going to talk about estuaries. Now, do you know what an estuary is?
Is that where it's brackish water?
Emily,
look at
water
and
oh my
meet?
God, look at you.
I know
Who is she?
Yes. I know about water. I can swim.
Yeah. So the estuary is where, your systems meet and your freshwater, saltwater, smaller bodies of water come to an ocean. Okay. So that's where you got the brackish water and like crocodiles. Like there's like an estuary crocodile.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and they're like specific animals that like they prefer the brackish water to.
Yeah, there actually is, and that's in a separate book. We're gonna get to the different bodies of water. So
shit. Okay.
I know. Hang on to your bra. Now, the aquatic, that's the different types of things you see in an aquatic one. In the desert of the land space, that's about 33% of the land is desert biome.
Okay. So wait, 75% of the earth is aquatic. So of the 25% is land.
Yeah.
33% is desert.
Quick, do the math.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, deserts are hot and dry.
A third of 25%, actually, it's not bad. Sorry.
7, 8.
Yeah, 8 point something.
8 point something. Semi-arid, you got coastal deserts, which I learned about making this. And then also cold deserts, which a lot of people don't know about.
Does the beach count as a coastal desert?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay.
Too many questions.
Yeah, I love that you
want to learn.
And I want to teach. All right, now forest is 30% of your land area.
Okay.
So you got tropical forests. Mm-hmm. Okay, so technically like a rainforest.
Rainforest
is part of the forest, yeah. Mm-hmm. Temperate, and then boreal or taiga. And I don't think I'm pronouncing those right.
Taiga's a boat brand. It's not spelled like that, but
Taiga's a rap star.
Taiga's also a boat brand. Before Taiga was a rap star.
No one cares about
that. We only like
DaBaby. We really do love DaBaby, y'all. Boreal.
Oh, I'm thinking like Borealis.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what, yeah.
So I would say Boreal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like L'Oreal.
Boreal, you're worth it.
Yes.
Only you can prevent forest fires. Now, grasslands. So that's 20 to 40% of land.
Okay.
You got tropical grasslands. What are considered tropical grasslands? Now, those are the savannas with no H's. You know, the savanna.
There's savannas with no what?
Like it's a savanna, but it's spelled without an H. Like the name Savannah has an H at the end.
Oh, like the okay, no, I'm tracking.
Yeah, okay.
I thought never mind.
And then you also have a temperate grasslands, and so these are like the prairies in the Midwest. Here is like a grassland.
Oh, like the Dust Bowl.
And exactly like the Dust Bowl. And I don't know how to pronounce this word, but I hear it a lot, or like I see it a lot. If I heard it, I'd know how to pronounce it. Steeps, steps, steppies, steppes.
What's this?
Who's to say?
Oh.
Yeah. And then pampers.
Yeah.
Something in South America. Okay. Now tundra. You're in luck. That is only 10% of land.
And it's getting smaller. What? It is.
What I love about Emily is that she always looks on the bright side.
Global warming.
You're right. Now, you got Arctic and Alpine.
Alpine? What does that mean?
You're going to learn it.
Okay, because I've heard that at like ski resorts. I feel like they use that word, and I'm just like, what does that mean?
My name's Emily, and I go to ski resorts, and they talk about alpines, and then I had some
Rachel,
Ghirardelli.
I just watched an episode of Psych where they went to a ski resort.
Okay, well, clarify that, because
everyone watched Psych. It's the best show.
Okay. Aquatic biome. So that's most of Earth's surface, you know.
Yeah.
Now, it's the largest biome.
Do you think Megalodon is real?
That's not what I'm here to talk about, and I don't care. Okay. So, now, the degree of penetration is...
That was not a good use of penetration.
The degree of sunlight penetration is a big factor in what marine life you see, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, you've got some, like... families or like species like families,
groupings,
so, sure orders, phylodo of animals that are entirely aquatic. So that's your echidnoderms, cnidarians, and fish, obviously. Yeah, most ocean animals live in areas that are never reached by people. So so
Megalodon is real.
No, we just we're agnostic about Megalodon. No, we don't know. Okay, well I am. And the coral reef is its own little biome. So it is cool. It is cool. Except for I accidentally touched the coral because I didn't want to die, and the man yelled at me when we were scuba diving, snorkeling. Scuba diving and snorkeling are not the same thing.
Don't touch the coral; it dies.
And snorkeling feels like being waterboarded.
We're gonna do it again.
Yep. Oops. So. There are 5 different zones in the ocean. You know,
zones.
Isn't that what the Ray sings about on Finding Nemo? And he's like, "Oh, doesn't he sing about the zones of?"
I'm singing Pirate Life.
Okay, we give up. Now the top one is the epipelagic zone. Now that's your sunlight zone. Okay, so sunlight reaches this. This is like where most of the animals we know of are hanging out, chilling, living life. Okay. The mesopelagic zone is called the twilight zone, and that's lower. Yeah. The bathypelagic is the midnight zone.
Ooh, I didn't know you could go lower than twilight.
You can, midnight. And the abyssopelagic is like the abyss that you hear about. And then the hadopelagic zone. So this is your trenches, like
Mariana
even lower than rock bottom. So like where I am in my life right now. Is that would be that.
Point on Earth.
Yep.
Mariana's Trench.
And Rachel's life. So, Now we're going to talk about the desert biome, not to be confused with the dessert biome, which is my pantry. Okay. So, to be a desert, you generally see less than 20 inches of rainfall per year.
Okay, so that's what you have to be a desert other than like a grassland. Is that the other one? Prairie?
Yeah, it's more about rainfall and like extreme temperature variations. So yeah, it's about the amount of rainfall and how it can sustain like succulents and subplants, but it can't sustain huge like trees and stuff that needs a lot of water, like a swimming pool plant. Now, the arid deserts, so that's like your Sahara and your Arabian deserts are arid, and arid means dry. So these are found near the equator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they've got a lot of sand dunes, which are hard to walk in, but...
Is the Outer Banks a desert?
No.
They have sand dunes.
Emily, this wasn't in the script.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't think so. We'll talk about coastal deserts in a minute, but I don't think so because there's an interesting thing there.
Okay.
But let's just go with aquatic.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. And is it near the equator? No, it's not. Okay. Now, semi-arid is like the Kalahari and the Gobi. Now, fun fact, the Gobi Desert is just named desert because Gobi means desert. So this is
like chai tea.
It's exactly like that, but different. This is in like North America, Europe, and Asia. The temperatures are not as extreme here. And now a fun fact. Remember what type of camels live in the Gobi Desert?
Nope.
Okay, we'll cover that later. Now, coastal deserts, this is like the Atacama and the Namib. So the cool thing that I learned about coastal deserts is that they're on the west coast of land masses.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why that is. It has to do with like wind. It's like the way that wind blows, it blows the moisture away from them. And so that's why they still remain dry.
Oh, okay. Because that's what I was wondering. Like, because I was like, wouldn't all beaches be a coastal desert? But no, because they get rain. So it's on the coast, but it doesn't get
It has
rain.
to be on the western side.
Coast, okay.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't make the rules. This is generally land that is 20 to 30 degrees in latitude. Okay. And then you've got cold deserts, so like the Arctic, the Antarctic, and the Gobi Desert is also cold because it's in
Egypt.
Not even a little bit.
Greenland.
No. And
where is it?
It's in Mongolia.
Oh, okay.
And there's like high flat plateaus. You get little rain or snow, but there's still hot summers there. I mean, allegedly. Has anyone even been to the Antarctic? No. Like who's to say? And the types of animals you're going to see here are like lizards, camels, scorpions, coyotes.
No, we don't like coyotes in this house.
Okay. Meerkats, roadrunners, vipers, dingoes that eat your babies, and oryx. You get like, the whatever an oryx is. I don't know why I wrote it because I don't know what that is. No offense to this man. I don't know who that man is. So that's your deserts.
Okay.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about the forest biome. So they are temperate. Honestly, stay out of the forest. And check yourself for ticks, because like Lyme disease,
My mom's dog has gotten it twice.
1 out of every 3 dogs in this family is affected by Lyme disease.
She's gotten it twice.
2 out of every 3 dogs. Okay. So this is Eastern North America. That's where we are.
Oh my God, we're there.
We're there.
We're in the forest.
Yep. And Eurasia. Okay. So they get 4 distinct seasons. Could have fooled me living in North Carolina. I don't think we do.
We get more.
Yeah.
We're in false fall.
False fall right now. This is September 19th. Yeah. Lots of rain, and so that means there's fertile soil. And so that helps it sustain a lot of plant life. You get like maples and oak and birches, and you see little deers and little squirrels and little bears. Well, and big bears too. Also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now then we got tropical forests. So these are near the equator as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is like your Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Okay. And then Central America. And they have a lot of biodiversity. Yeah. And never go above the canopy. I learned that from Fern Gully. You never go above the canopy because it's dangerous there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't like birds, so I'm on board with that.
Yeah. And then we have boreal or whatever and taigas. So this is like Siberia and Scandinavia and Alaska and Canada.
Oh, it's a cold forest.
Yes.
It's cold.
So these are really important for removing CO2 from the atmosphere, though.
Really?
Yeah. I can't tell you any more about that, but I wrote it down, so I must have seen it on the internet.
It's probably because no one likes to live there, but they have a lot of trees, so like they're getting all the CO2 out without people putting more in, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you.
I know things.
Emily Nye. The temperatures here are normally below freezing.
Yep.
You get a lot of conifers and spruce trees and pine trees, and the birds that live here migrate out for the winter because they're like, I've got a condo in Florida.
I wish we did.
Me too. Next, we're going to talk about the grassland biome. So this is dominated by grass because there's not enough rain for the larger vegetation. So you do see some trees like, are these acacia trees? I hear that word a lot, but I don't know what they are.
I don't know what that means.
Joshua tree?
I don't think that's a type of tree. Because
it's just
park.
A U2 album?
No, it's like a national park. Because people climb on the trees and they get real pissed.
It's not even a tree? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, the FCC is going to be all over my butt for that one. So, we don't know what trees they have, but they do have some trees, as you can see in my scientifically accurate depiction here. Okay, so you got savannas. Now you got the tropical ones, so they have a distinct wet and dry seasons, and the dry season is generally only like 4 to 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're warm all year round. This is like your Africa, South America, India, Australia, and in Australia, not Australia, in South Africa, they call them velds.
What?
Veld.
Veld?
Veld.
Veld is what they call the grasslands?
The savannah.
The savannah?
Mm-hmm.
Veld?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then the temperate ones, so these are like your prairies and your plains, and I hope you know that, like, I don't remember if it's prairie dogs or meerkats. I also don't know if there's a difference, but it's like the main like reservoir for plague in North America. So like on Sister Wives when they moved to
I thought Prairie Dogs was a movie.
It may or may not be, but they also are animals in
cool.
America. I think we don't have meerkats in America, probably.
I don't think we have. We probably do at zoos.
You know what, Emily? I think you're right. I think we do at zoos.
I'm sure I've seen one in
that is a good point. Now, this is the western United States, southeast, South America, and parts of Russia. There's not shrubs and trees, and the temperatures fluctuate.
You're telling me Russia's not all tundra?
I'm telling you Russia's not all tundra.
Wow.
I mean, I've never been there, so I can't confirm.
I'm convinced everything in Russia is gray.
The website,
there's always snow on the ground.
Well, the website that I got this information at was www.visitrussia.putin.com. So,
are you serious?
Yeah. So, I mean, who's to say? And then in your steppes or your steppes or your steppes or whatever, they have distinct seasons and they're drier than prairies, and that's a lot of Russia and Eastern Europe.
Okay.
Now, saved your favorite for last.
Tundra.
The tundra biome. That's what they look like.
Ice caps are melting.
Thank you. This isn't your rallying cry for the environment, okay? Now, in a tundra biome, these are the coldest. They have a very short growing season, okay? Less than 10 inches of rain per year.
How diggity.
Yeah. So, they're also deserts. They have really high winds. They only get 6 to 10 weeks all year for plant growth, which honestly longer than I've ever kept a plant alive. Mm-hmm. I think they're doing good. Okay.
6 to 10.
I know. They have permafrost soil, so that means it's frozen year round. So, like, if you murder someone in the tundra, I probably wouldn't, because if you're trying to bury the body, that's going to be...
The evidence is going to stay forever.
That's tough, and it's going to freeze it and preserve it.
Yeah, like, your fingerprints are going to be on the body in 100 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
don't murder.
I would not recommend. Maybe that's why. I mean, I can only think of one serial killer.
Unless you're gonna fully dress them in like the victim in white.
Mm-hmm. That's one way.
Yeah,
it's one way. It's largely treeless. You got like shrubs and grasses and mosses because
trees can't grow without rain.
You're right. That's what I learned when making this. Mm-hmm. Now, the Arctic is high latitude, so. Think about the latitude and it's high.
Okay. Latitude is this way. Longitude is this way.
No, longitude is long, right? Longitude is long. That
Okay,
makes more
okay,
sense.
yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, because I was, okay.
Okay, listen. Don't get offended. Did you pass 4th grade?
I went to a charter school.
Case in point.
Okay.
Now, alpine. So these are very high elevations atop mountains.
That's why ski resorts use those.
Mm-hmm. So the overnight temps are below freezing. These are like the peaks. So it's like a whole other level.
Like when you see a drawing of a mountain.
Mm-hmm. Like as you can see here,
the snow cap. Yeah. That's the
there
alpine.
You go. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna run into some lemmings, some hares, squirrels, caribou, foxes, polar bears, mosquitoes still live here.
Ugh.
And they have like swans and snow geese and ptarmigans, which start with a P, but are pronounced ptarmigans.
Ptarmigans.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
And then the last page is just, it's a bird. Sorry.
Oh, I don't like birds.
Sorry, I listened to what you said. I saved it in my mind, and I played it back when I had time to deal with it.
Okay. I don't like birds, so
yeah.
Moving along.
Now, these are just different terrestrial habitats because there are like some more variation, obviously, like a grass savanna versus a tree savanna, montane forests, ice sheets and polar deserts, temperate steppe, Mediterranean vegetation, monsoon forest.
Like olives.
Yeah. Like that. Mm-hmm.
And grapes.
Mm-hmm. And hummus.
And feta cheese.
Yep, that's what that is. So that's all I have to share with you. Did you learn a lot?
I learned a lot.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for doing sober science with us. Believe it or not, both sober.
Both
just
sober.
Very uneducated about science.